If the president has projects he wants funding for, you need to come before this body and provide reasoning, not just shift money around. Right now, you are stealing from our service members, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now you have repeatedly said that you will judge every individual on their merit. Is that true?
Unlike the previous administration,
You will
yes,
judge
we are focusing
simple yes
on,
or no.
for our service
Judge everybody
members, how
on their
good they
merit.
are at their job, yes.
You failed at ensuring basic operational security by sharing classified data over an unclassified network. This was blatant, lazy, and put service members' lives at risk. You keep talking about recruiting, but let's face the facts here, right? Recruiting started improving before President Trump even came into office, and the reason that changed was because I was at the Pentagon at the time, and I know how much we invested in it, and I know how much of the services. And when you take away that investment, you're going to get exactly what happened in President Trump's first administration. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, so many topics to cover. I represent California's 31st District, located in Southern California, where you've deployed the National Guard and Marine Combat Battalion in an effort by this administration to provoke a confrontation. God only knows for what reason. As my colleague from Tennessee mentioned, the military has been activated before by the president, but let's tell the whole story. President Johnson federalized the troops after the governor of Alabama activated them to keep black students out of the University of Alabama. President Johnson did it so the students could attend the university. He did it for the right reason. He corrected a wrong. California did not ask the president for help, and the presence of the military is an effort by this administration to intimidate and incite fear and violence amongst its citizens. You failed at ensuring basic operational security by sharing classified data over an unclassified network. This was blatant, lazy, and put service members' lives at risk. And knowing that your office is a SCIF, I hope you are not bringing in your devices, your personal cell phone, or even your work phone, because that's not supposed to be in there either, right, your cell phone, into your office to send these signal chat texts. Your blatant lack of basic OPSEC would have gotten you forced you to resign from any other administration. You're requiring 8% cuts across all services, not to save the taxpayers' money, but to fund President Trump's pet projects. You talk about quality of life for service members, but yet you take $1 billion away from the Army that was meant to improve their barracks and their living. You said that money waste, but we don't know that yet because we haven't seen a budget. If the president has projects he wants funding for, you need to come before this body and provide reasoning, not just shift money around. Right now, you are stealing from our service members, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now you have repeatedly said that you will judge every individual on their merit. Is that true?
Unlike the previous administration,
You will
yes,
judge
we are focusing
simple yes
on,
or no.
for our service
Judge everybody
members, how
on their
good they
merit.
are at their job, yes.
But yet you are separating thousands of service members who are performing and doing their job at a high level. They are being separated not based on merit. You know, some of them have been recommended for early promotion and have gotten awards and are doing a great job, but you are separating for no other reason, and frankly, I think you just don't like them. And you are classifying many of them as a national security threat, which is simply not true. You asked the Secretary of the Navy to change the name of the ship, because Harvey Milk didn't meet your definition of warrior ethos. If a Korean War veteran and a Navy diver who gave his life for standing up for his beliefs doesn't meet your definition, I don't know what will. You keep talking about recruiting, but let's face the facts here, right? Recruiting started improving before President Trump even came into office, and the reason that changed was because of the investment that was put into recruiting. Now, I was at the Pentagon at the time, and I know how much we invested in it, and I know how much of the services. And when you take away that investment, you're going to get exactly what happened in President Trump's first administration. In 2019, we had the same recruiting crisis that, back in 2019 when he was president the first time. You continue to attack diversity, but I have always said diversity is about creating opportunity, and I have seen plenty of individuals, many of them enlisted members, who, when given the opportunity, have succeeded not because of their sex, not because of color, not because of their sexual identity, but because of their worth ethic and merit. Mr. Secretary, when using your definition of DEI, I think there's only one individual at the Pentagon right now who got his job based on that merit, and that is you, and you got it because of sucking up to your boss. And with that, I yield back.
What you just witnessed was not simply a heated exchange. It was a rare moment of truth-telling in a room that too often rewards silence and obedience. Representative Gil Cisneros did what members of Congress are supposed to do: hold the powerful accountable, challenge incompetence, and defend the people who rely on the stability and integrity of our institutions, especially our service members. Let's slow down and really break down the significance of what Cisneros just said, because beneath the bluntness, there's something deeply important happening here. Cisneros wasn't just criticizing Pete Hegseth for policy disagreements. He was exposing a pattern of political favoritism, mismanagement, and reckless decisions that undermine national security. He laid out, point by point, how this secretary has not only failed in his responsibilities, but has actively damaged the integrity of the military by injecting politics where it doesn't belong and by punishing service members for reasons that have nothing to do with their performance. When Cisneros talked about deploying troops into his district, he didn't mince words. He reminded the country that military deployment on U.S. soil should serve a just cause, not political theater. That's not only a historical truth, it's a moral one. And Cisneros made that comparison deliberately because there's a big difference between federalizing troops to protect civil rights, as LBJ did, and deploying them to intimidate American citizens for partisan gain. And then he went deeper, confronting something most Americans rarely think about: operational security, classified information, the rules that protect the lives of deployed service members. When Cisneros pointed out that Hegseth used unsecured channels for sensitive data, he wasn't doing a political hit. He was making a national security argument. This kind of negligence gets regular service members removed from their positions immediately. But for Trump's political appointees, there seems to be a different standard. The commentary about merit was even more telling. Cisneros reminded viewers that the military has always claimed to value performance, excellence, discipline, and dedication. But under this leadership, service members who are excelling are being pushed out not because they failed, not because they've broken rules, but because they don't fit an ideological mold. That's not meritocracy. That's political purging, and that undermines readiness, morale, and trust in the chain of command. So when Cisneros finally said that Hegseth is the only person at the Pentagon who got his job through the kind of merit this administration values, and that he earned it by sucking up to his boss, he wasn't being petty. He was saying the quiet part out loud. He was naming the toxic culture of favoritism that has replaced competence with political loyalty. He was calling out an environment where sycophancy is rewarded and professionalism is discarded. This is bigger than one exchange in a hearing room. It is a warning about what happens when the military, a foundational, apolitical institution, is bent toward political agendas. And Cisneros is ringing that alarm loudly and clearly. And that's exactly why moments like this matter, because democracy isn't strengthened by silence. It's strengthened when elected leaders refuse to look the other way and choose instead to speak truth directly to power. If you care about accountability, transparency, and a military that serves the Constitution, not a political party, make sure you subscribe, share this video, and stay engaged. These hearings are showing us exactly what's at stake, and it's going to take all of us to push back.